Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing another preview and prediction for the World Cup. Today we are doing Pool C. Pool C, which consists of France, USA, England, Tonga and Argentina. This one's known as the Pool of Death. You can see why. 3 Tier 1 nations in this group, so it's going to be an absolute corker of a group. So let's get straight into the predictions. So starting off with 5th, and in 5th place in this group I am going with Tonga. Now I don't think Tonga are brilliant at the moment. They haven't been convincing. They're leaky in defence, and this is sort of why I've decided to go for them in 5th. It could be a bit of a shock. You would think that USA would be there, but I think USA have slightly the better team. But yeah, Tonga have not a brilliant defence. They've got a good few attackers who can slice through and score some tries, but I don't think their defence is world class. They do have very good players though, of course. They've got Veanu, who really hasn't played that many games for Tonga as of late, so he's coming in and he could be fresh, but he is an injury issue. He does get injured quite a lot, but if he doesn't get injured, he is a sidestepping king. He does it all the time for Leicester, and he could just sidestep for anyone. And I wouldn't be surprised if Veanu's playing, he will score at least a try a game. I would not be surprised, or at least get an assist. And he could help them rack up points. But I see, as I said, Tonga's issue being in their defence. I think they're weak in that area. And also their fitness. They can survive up to around 60 minutes, but I don't think their fitness levels are good enough to go on for the last 20 or so, which means that they will end up dropping quite a lot of points in that time. And yeah, for me, Tonga are they'll be competitive. Tonga will definitely be competitive. This is a very competitive group. They can give a fight to Argentina, they can give a fight to France, maybe even give a fight to England. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think they will win any of their games. They might be able to get a couple of points in terms of bonuses, could get try bonuses, they could get a losing bonus against USA. But overall, I don't think they will win any of their games. But they could have a lot of tight ones that could be decided in the last 20 minutes. But yeah, I'm going to be putting Tonga in 5th place. Now in 4th place, I think this is going to be quite obvious if I'm putting Tonga in 5th. I'm putting USA. Now, the reason I'm putting USA in 4th is because I genuinely think that they are a good team. They can provide some sort of shock, I believe, in this World Cup. But then again, you look at the other teams in this group and then you think, no, I don't think they will. But they could come very close to pulling off a shock. And that is a good thing in itself. And USA, they've never made quarterfinals before, so that will obviously be their aim, and they can aim that high because they can probably shock teams. But as I said, I don't think they will do it, but they will come close. They have cracking players. Titi Lamasatelli, a European winner, a Premiership winner. They've also got AJ McGinty from Sale Sharks as well. Excellent goal kicker. He can definitely grab a few points for them. And really, the USA team is very well rounded. I think they're a very good side. They had a good Pacific Nations Cup. They won 2 games. The game they lost, I think, was against Japan. I'm not too sure, but I think it was against Japan. But this USA team is definitely the best team that they've had in a long time. Didn't get any wins in 2015, but I do see them getting a win against Tonga in this one. And I believe they'll push Argentina, they'll push France, they'll push England very close as well. And that's why this group's so good, because you've got USA and Tonga who can push those teams and make them work hard for wins. And that kind of makes me putting Tonga seem very underwhelming, but it's a very tough group. But yeah, I think USA will finish 4th. I think they've got what it takes to win 1 game in this World Cup. I think they'll beat Tonga. And yeah, I'm going to be putting USA in 4th place. Now we get up to the hard bit, because now we're on to the 3 Tier 1 nations in this group. Now, I do know who I'm going to put where, and in third place, I'm putting Argentina. Argentina, the team who came fourth in the last World Cup in 2015, I don't think they're going to make it out of the group this year. And for me, it's a very close call between Argentina and France, because they're both as inconsistent as each other. But one thing that really tips me to put Argentina in third is the fact that most of their players have been playing for the Jaguares, the Super Rugby team, for pretty much the whole season since February. Now that will mean that these Argentinians who play for the Jaguares, which is most of them, they will be tired, because as soon as the Super Rugby finished, they were in the final as well. They went straight into the Rugby Championship, had warm-up games as well, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're tired and their fitness levels are low. They didn't have brilliant warm-up games, they didn't win any of the Rugby Championship games. That could be because of tiredness. Whether the little period they had after the Rugby Championship was enough to get them over the tiredness or fitness issues, that may have been the issue before because of the Jaguares. Whether that might hamper them, I don't know, but we'll see. But I think it will. I don't see Argentina having as good of a run, because I feel like their fitness will take and be an issue for them in these games. But of course, they are going to be there. They will push them close, and it will be fine margins. 1 point against France, 1 point against England, something like that. It's going to be a very close group, and they're going to be very unlucky if they do miss out. I think whoever finishes third in this group will be very unlucky, and it'll be by fine margins. And I think that third place will be Argentina. Now, they do have some good players, of course. Creevy, still there, the Argentine hooker. Brilliant player. He's been there for years now, the captain. He always manages to boost them and always manages to give them confidence. So he can help him in a World Cup. He's also been there before. Big experience. And he can definitely help him. He's just a great player. He has so much pride. He wears that jersey and he goes out and plays his best in every game. Brilliant player. He can definitely help them. As well as that, though, I do think that they have left out a big name in Santi Cordero. They haven't picked him, the former Exeter player who now plays for Bordeaux, on the wing. He was so good last season for Exeter, and I was shocked to not see him in that squad for the World Cup. And I believe they might miss him. They'll miss his prowess and the try scoring, and yeah. And that's going to be a big miss for Argentina, because he would have made their attack so fluent and so soft, and he would have scored a couple of tries, I can imagine, for Argentina. But yeah, other than that, they do have some other good players in their team. Of course, they do have great players. They are a top tier team. They do push teams close, but unfortunately, this year isn't going to be their year. Third place for Argentina. Now in second, it's also hard for me to pick who's in second, because I think the top three could interchange, but in second I'm going with France. Now I could easily put France in third, but I feel like they do have that more fitness levels than Argentina will have. They've had more of a break than Argentina. That, of course, their players play across a lot of France in the top 14, so they would have had a big enough break because the top 14's been over for a while now. And yeah, but I do believe one issue with France that could see them miss out is their consistency. They are very inconsistent. One time they could play absolutely brilliantly, they could play a blinder just like they did against Scotland in the Six Nations and the first half against Wales in the Six Nations earlier in the year. But then they can have a diabolical game and just get trounced like they did against England, like they did against Ireland. And this isn't what you need coming into a World Cup. You don't need this poor consistency. You want to be consistent. You want to go into the World Cup knowing that you've got the consistency to win these group games and go into the knockout stages with confidence. For me, France just don't have that confidence, and it's because of their consistency. Because they keep losing, and then winning straight after. That doesn't build confidence. That makes you confident, and then you lose the next game, and then it just pulls it back down again. And I believe that's a big issue with France, and they really need to sort that out. But other than that, they do have brilliant players. I think a young star in this World Cup who's going to flourish is Ntamack. He is a brilliant player, played really well in the Six Nations earlier in the year. He was a bit unfortunate not to get some starts, but when he did start, he was an absolute brilliance on the pitch. He was amazing, creating a load of opportunities. And for me, he's a future star of that 10 shirt for France. And I think he can pull off something magical in a couple of these games in the group. They've also got, of course, Girardo, the captain, bit like Creevy, wears the shirt with pride. We know that when he goes out there wearing that France shirt, he will always perform. And yeah, he's just a brilliant player all round. They also have quite a few good players in the back line, in the forwards, like Louis Picamol as well, who's really good at rucking over the ball. So they are quite a good all-round team, but I think it's that consistency that will hurt this French side, and could even see them maybe not getting into the quarterfinals. But I do think they have what it takes to make it, but just make it. They may not be consistent through this group stage. They may get beaten hard by one of them and then play really well in the next game. But yeah, I believe they'll just have it over Argentina, but just not have it over England, and will end up second in this group. So that means in first, I am going with England. England, the team who didn't get out of their group in their home World Cup 4 years ago. I believe that they will get out of this one, another pool of death. They will get out of this one, and they will get out as the top team. They will finish first in this group. And I think England are going into this World Cup full of confidence. They had that one loss against Wales in the warm-ups, but other than that, these warm-up games that they've played in showed their strength in depth. They've got so much depth now in their squad that I don't really think they had back in 2015. And they also have that good awareness for the game and good decision making as well that they didn't have in 2015 that can help them get into the knockouts. And it's this depth, this decision making that was key. It's key because they know what they're doing, they've got a plan, they execute it well, and they go into games knowing what they have to do and knowing what they are going to do. And I feel like they're not as confused as they were back in 2015. They're now a full side, and to be fair, they've played brilliantly recently and could be a favourite for the World Cup. And I think they're a very good side. They can go into this World Cup with a lot of confidence, and I think that they can definitely go very far in this competition. They do have very good players, of course, the likes of Owen Farrell. Of course, he's their captain, absolute creator, he's a magician on the pitch. You've got Sam Underhill and Tom Curry, brilliant flankers, great over the ball. They can definitely cause mischief in the ruck. They've just got brilliant players all over the pitch. Johnny May, he's going to score a hatful of tries in this World Cup. And I think England are going into this with a lot of confidence. But I do have a query with England, and that's when they're behind. They don't seem to know what to do when they're behind. It doesn't seem like they have a plan B. And that can be an issue for if they're behind. Say if they're losing to France, if they're losing to Argentina. What are they going to do if their game plan isn't working? Which usually it does, but if their game plan isn't working, how are they going to change that? We've seen in multiple games, we saw in the Six Nations, we saw in the Wales game in the warm-up, they didn't have a plan B, they didn't know what to do once they were behind, and that could be a bit of an issue. But overall, I think they'll get over that, because I think they will win every group game this year, but only just. I think, again, the France, the Argentina game, it'll be just victories. But yeah, I think they're going to make it, and I'm going to be putting England in first. So yeah, they are my Pool C preview and predictions, and I put Tonga in 5th, USA in 4th, Argentina in 3rd, France in 2nd, and England to top the group. Put down in the comments what you think of my predictions and what your predictions are for Pool C, and give this video a like and subscribe. That would be absolutely appreciated. Thank you very much. And anyway, I'll see you in the next video when I do the Pool D preview and the predictions. See you in a bit.